Hello everyone, this is something that I saw way back in Instagram and I saved it, and I felt that this is so beautiful and I really like to try to recreate it. And now that we have mouse parallax effect, um, so I was given a try. So let's do it. This is the live examples that I already created. So let's refresh it from the top, and you can see that we have like a flickering light with glow around it, halo around it, something like this. And as I move my mouse, so you can see that it's kind of reveal this hidden text right there because it's matched the background color. It's not exactly the same as this example because here they have like another effect on the hidden world itself. But we will try to do something similar. I think it's close enough. And also you can see that we have here in the background we have some grid that the light is also kind of covering as you move your mouse. All right, so this is the working example that I have already created. We will rebuild it, but before we'll do it, let's see how this one is built. I mean the layers, and then we'll try to rebuild it together. All right, so everything is placed on one section. Okay, this is the section we are talking about. Let's call it hero. So in this hero you can see we have two containers. The first container is for the content, is for this content. So if I'll hide it, now we'll see only the background effect, which include the light, this beautiful gradient, and the grid. It's right there. So let's break it down. Let's open this container. Inside this container, the first layer, the lower layer, it's the gradient, which include image for desktop and different image for mobile. All right. All right. And on top of it, we have the decorative grid lines, which is created using CSS. I'll show you. And on top, the last layer is the light itself, which is a container, a wrapper for the light body. And the reason that I'm using two containers, not only for this light, also for the gradient, is because I'm creating two effects. The one effect is the track, like it's follow my mouse, and the second one is flash. Okay, kind of a flickering light. So you can see that if I wait a bit, you can see that the light is flickering very softly. All right. Okay, so let's create it on top of it. So I'll create a new section and I'll set it to be minimum height of 100 VH. All right. The second thing that I always do immediately, I'm going to apply advanced CSS, and I'm making sure that the row doesn't have its own minimum height. So here you can see that we have minimum height of 751 pixels. So I'll change it to auto or FR. I love to work with FR. So this will be the new hero. Naming, it's super important. The second thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the background color because the background color is coming from my page. Okay, it's not black, it's kind of black purple. You can see this is the tone, so it's around here. So let's remove the background color from my section, and we are getting this color, the background color. And I have the header, which is pinned, and it's overlapping my my section where it's pinned. All right, great. Now what we need to create the wrapper for our background. All right, so let's see the example in the hero. We have, this is the background, so let's call it background. Great. And inside of it, let's stretch it. Okay, it needs to take the entire space. And now what we need to do, we need to add the gradient wrapper. Okay, so basically it's a container contain an image. Okay, so I'll stretch the image. You know what, and I will not stretch the image. This is not the right way to do it. I'll make it centered, and then I'll stretch its parent. Okay, so let's change its name to gradient wrapper, and this will be the gradient itself. So let's stretch it. Yeah, you can see also, oh sorry, it's not stretched. Let's go back, and I'll just undock it and remove the minimum height. You know what, not yet. So we have this gradient wrapper, and we have this image. Now let's change the image to the image that we want to use. Let's make it smaller for now, so we'll see what we are doing. All right, and let's change the image. So you can see that the image that I have is kind of a gradient. Okay, so let's open it, but it's a transparent one. So basically you can see the background color around it. You can super easy do it using Photoshop. You just create a mask around it. So it's important that the light won't be cut. So here you can see this is not a good example because here it's a bit cut. Okay, you don't want it. But for now, let's use it. And immediately I will restore the original ratio of the image by click reset image. Okay, so it looks something like this. It's taken a second. And now if I'll remove the background color from my gradient wrapper, and I have another background color from this container, so let's remove it. So now you can see this beautiful gradient, how it's blended with the background. So I need this image to be at least 100%. So for now I'll stretch it, and then I'll unstretch it and make it scale proportionally. And now I need to reset the image. So now I just did it, and I know that I want this top and bottom of the image to be bigger. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to minimize the window so I'll see more, and then I'll drag one of the corners, and I want it to be something like 120%. So let's do something like this. I think this is good enough, and I'll center it again. Okay, great. So now this container, its parent container, let's go back to 100%. So its parent, I'll remove the minimum height. I don't need it. And also I need to make sure that I don't have the minimum height from the row itself. So let's change it to FR. Great, now the image is taking the height of the parent container. I just want to make sure that this is exactly what I did before. So this is, oh, this is not right. So we have the image inside the gradient wrapper, and you see it's 120%. It's not docking anywhere. It has minimum minus 5%. This is only because this specific image, I want to shift a little bit the center of the image. But this gradient wrapper, you can see that it has minimum, it has a height of 100 viewport height. So let's do it again here. I'll select the image, the gradient wrapper, and I'll set minimum height of 100 VH. Great. So it's always taking the entire height of the screen. And also, I'll do it later, but I want to shift it outside from the left side. So the center of the image won't be here, it won't be, it will be here somewhere. Okay, so this is the gradient wrapper. The second thing that I want to do, I want to create the decorative grid lines. Okay, so this is important for you to not put the container, to not drag it inside, because now it's located inside the gradient wrapper, and we don't want it. We want it to be attached to the background and not to the gradient. So the way to do it is I'll remove it, and I'll select the background, and I click Command V, and now it's child of the background and not the gradient wrapper. So for this one, I can simply stretch it, and then let's remove the background. Okay, so this is on top of the image. So I search for a way to create grid lines very easily. So the way that we are doing it is using CSS, and I simply search for how to make a grid using CSS, but it's decorative grid, not a CSS grid. Decorative grid lines. So I found the answer on Stack Overflow. So what I did, I just copied this example. You can see it used background size and background image with linear gradient to create these grid lines. And here you can see the example. So it gave us two examples. This is dots grid, and this is grid lines. This is exactly what we need. So I already copy it and change it a bit to fit my design. So let's see what CSS properties that I use. So you can see this is super small. So I created a class called Decorative Grid Lines, and you can see that it has background size of 60 pixels, background image with some gradient properties, and blend mode. This is important. So first of all, let's copy this CSS and paste it on our decorative grid lines. So let's edit, and you can see immediately that we have these beautiful grid lines. Okay, but I want to show you how it looks without any custom CSS that I created. So first of all, let's remove the blend mode. So now you can see that the grid has changed, and let's change the color to white, and white, and let's also do it here. So this is how the grid looks like without any changes, any specific changes to the design that I want to create it. So basically, let's undo it. So I selected a kind of purplish color, so it will blend with my background, and also I add a blend mode. So what it says basically, it sets the contrast. Okay, so you can see the lines where the light where the background is brighter. Okay, So this is how we get this effect. So just for now, we created two things: the image gradient and the decorative grid line. So let's publish it and see how it looks on the live site. So let's do something like this. Okay, so it's static, it's super nice, right? But without any effect, and we don't have the content itself here. So the third things that I'm going to do, I'm going to create this light. Okay, so it's simply a container, right? So let's go right here, and it's this one, light body wrapper. So again, I want to add a container. I want to add a container, but I don't want to drag inside because here I have another container. So I'll select the background and go to quick add and select the container. Let's make it center so we can see it. So I don't remember exactly the units, so let's select it's 1.9 VW and 65 viewport height. So 1.9 viewport width and 65 viewport height, 65% of the viewport height. So let's make it center to our section. Great. And it has some margin. I think the margin is 5%. It is. So let's push it from the left 5%. And now we need to design it a bit. So sorry, this is if you remember, I created two elements. Okay, this is the first one, is the wrapper, because it has effect of track, and we have another effect for flash. So the design will be on the flash, the light body. Okay, so let's give it a name, light body wrapper. So this will be light body wrapper, and inside of it I will add another container. So let's remove this background color, we don't need it. But inside of this container I want to quick add another container, and I'll stretch it. Okay, so now this item, the light body, okay, this will be the light body, this will be this container will have the design. So let's change the background color to white. I'll add border corners of very high number. Okay, so it looks something like this. And now I'll add shadow, and I don't remember exactly the units, so let's just see what I set here. So the shadow is actually it's not, it should not be that precise, so let's do whatever we like. So let's go to shadow and make it white, and let's make the blur much higher, something like this. The size will be bigger. I think it looks okay. So it's kind of a halo around this light. And what else do we need? I think that's it. So very quickly, let's set the animations. Okay, so first one, I want to create a flash. Okay, so let's see the properties that I set here. So it's a loop animation, and it's on flash, and let's adjust the animation to see the duration is 400 milliseconds and the repeat delay is 4 seconds, and it's linear, of course. So let's do it exactly the same. So I'm selecting the body. Let's change the naming to be here I'll add flash animation. So let's go to loop, add flash, and I can see preview. Let's go here and change it to 0.4, and the repeat delay will be, let's do it 3 seconds. Let's change it to linear, and let's click preview. So it looks something like this. Great. So the second flash animation that I need to create is for the gradient image. Okay, so again, I think it's exactly the same properties. Yes, oh, actually no, here the easing is different. So let's go to the image. I will add flash, so I will remember. And also I know this is only for desktop. So desktop only. Okay, so we are on the image. Let's create a loop, flash 0.4, 3, and I think that I select this one. Let's create preview, and it looks something like this. So let's publish it to see what we have until now. So you can see that we have this loop animation, which looks great. Amazing. The second thing that I want to do, I want to make this light to follow my my mouse. So let's see the settings that I create here. It's a track animation, and the distance that is moving is 100 of the viewport width, and the velocity is 0.5, so it will be like smoother. It moved only on the x-axis, and the easing is out. Okay, great. So let's do it. So I need to select the parent of the light, which this one, and I'm going to add a track animation to it, to the parent. Okay. Basically, the reason that I did it is because I cannot add two. Actually, I can. No, I cannot add two animation to the same element. So this is the reason that I wrap it with another container. So mouse effect, track. So here you can see that this is not what we need. First of all, the distance should be 100 VW. Okay, so it looks something like this. The second thing, the velocity is okay, but the movement axis is only for the horizontal. And I think this is what I said before. Okay, great. So the second thing that I want to animate is the light itself. Okay, so let's see what I did here. So for the gradient wrapper, I have and again track movement. It moves more than the light itself, 120 VW. The velocity is slower, and the movement is exactly the same. So let's do it. Let's select the gradient wrapper. I will add a track animation to it. Mouse effect, add, let's close it for now, track 120 VW, velocity 1.1, and only on the horizontal axis. Okay, something like this. Great. So let's publish it. This is all the animation that we need to set so far. But now you will see why I need to shift. You can see as we refresh, the the center of the light is not in the right position. We need to shift the image to the left. So if we will see this image, so this image container, it will have it has a minus 52 percentage. You don't need to do it exactly the same, okay, but this is the values that I'm playing around with, and this is what I found. So the gradient wrapper, first of all, I don't want it, no, it's okay. I want to give it a negative values. So let's do minus 30%. The ideal is that the brightest center of the image will be kind of underneath this light. So let's do minus 40, and it looks okay, I guess, something like this. So let's publish it and see how it's working now. By the way, you can see that I set everything to be 100 VH, but this light is not centered. Okay, so I need to figure out why. So it looks like the image is making everything to be bigger because it's 120%. So I'll go to its parent and see its row. What is the setting of the row? The row is 1 FR, which is okay. And the column, let's change it to 1 FR. It also looks okay. Maybe it's related to the background itself. So let's apply grid to see, and I'll change it to be 1 FR also. And it's still not right. Maybe it's the section itself. No, it should be okay. Oh, I think because I set minimum height and not height. Let's see. Yes. Okay, this should be a solid 100 VH, and now everything is centered. So let's refresh it again. So now the light is on the right place, and you can see that it's follow our mouse very nicely. Another thing that I want to do, I want to take the background image a bit up, okay, because I want it to go outside of my screen. So let's select the image and give it minus 5%, something like this. And I'll check it later. Maybe even more. Minus 8. You know what? Minus 6. Okay, the last thing that we need to create is the design itself, right? So for that, for that, I need another container that will contain all our content for this section. So as you remember, everything that related to the animation is inside the background. So I want to create another layer, but it should be a child of the section itself. So let's go and quick add a container, and I'll stretch it immediately. And you can see that this is child of section. So let's change its name to content wrapper. And I can remove the background color, and everything now that I will drag inside this container will be a child of this container. So I'll show you the principle of what I'm doing, but then I just copy the design from here. So the values, let's show it again. So basically what I did, I took a sentence, okay, and I make it white. Let's make it 80, something like this. I set the color to white, okay, but only this hidden word I'll change to not black, but to match my background color, this kind of purple. Okay, so now if I'll make it a center, and we will see the live site. So you kind of see that when the image is not underneath this text, you are not seeing the value, because it's the background is matched to the text color is matched to the background color. So this is kind of the effect that we are getting. But you can see that we have an issue, because the hidden, actually this text is above our light. So the way to solve it is to change the Z index of this container, the light container. So I already created, in this example, if we will select the light wrapper, so you can see that I add a class to this element. It's called light body wrapper. So this is a super simple CSS property. It's basically set the Z index to 1, which means it will be higher than all the rest. So let's do exactly the same. Let's select our light container, which will be this one, light body wrapper, and I'll add this class to it. So now let's see if it's working. So now you see that the light is above the text, which is exactly what we need. Great. So instead of creating the entire design from scratch, I'll just copy this, sorry, not delete, copy, and I'll paste it right here. It's perfectly in the center, and I have this arrow that is making us, when you click on it, it's called down to the second section. So let's place it right here. I forgot, but I added padding to this content container of 5% from all directions. And now I need to make it a bit wider, something like this, centered, and this arrow will be docking to the bottom. And now let's see our design. So everything is working great, but I think we can push the light a bit more to the left, so the hidden will be more hidden. So let's go to the image again, sorry, to the image parent, the gradient wrapper, and let's make it minus 50%. So now you will see that the hidden is not completely hidden, but you can see like a hint that you have something there. So I think it's not exactly how this example is working, but I think it's close enough, and it's very nice to create. Oh, now the light is, let's try to arrange. Why the light now is not above the hidden wall? Interesting. This is weird. So let's try to figure it out. Oh, because it lost its CSS for some reason. So it was light body wrapper. So the second thing that we need to do, we need to talk about mobile, to see what we have in mobile. Okay, it's fixed now. Because in mobile, we don't have mouse track, right? So we need to find a better solution. So first of all, let's make our content to look good. Let's do something like this. I can even make the typography bigger. Let's do 50. Something like this. This will be 30 pixels. And I'll make it centered. I think it looks okay. So now the solution that I have is to change the light to be on top. And instead, oh, I have here two menus. I don't need this. Instead of to use the mouse track that it has right now, I will make it automatically scroll from top to bottom. So let's select the light. Okay, this is the light, yes. And sorry, the light wrapper. And I'll set it to be, let's say, you know what, we can stretch it, okay? And I will remove the design. No, it's okay, sorry. Let's select the light body and unstretch it. And it will be at the center. And its height will be, let's say, 30 pixels. Something like this, maybe 24. And it will be pushed from the top, let's say 80 pixels. Something like this. And it won't be 100%, it will be 80. Maybe 85. Okay, something like this. So its parent, the light body wrapper, is stretched, okay, to fill the section height, the background height, and the light body is 85% and 24 pixels height, 85% width and 24% height. Let's push it a bit more so it won't be so close to our header. 100. Yeah, something like this. And let's push a bit our content to be, maybe this is too much. It says 50, sorry, 50%. Okay, great. Now you can see that the image is very off. Okay, so we need to fix it. So let's select the gradient wrapper and let's stretch it for now. Okay, so now the image is in the middle, and now this image is not looking good on mobile because the ratio should be different. So I'll clone it. Let's you know what, let's hide it. And now I'll select the parent and go to quick add image. So now we have image for mobile only. let's just make sure that it's not exit here. Great. And now let's set it to be 85%. You know what? Sorry, 100%. And let's change its height. And let's go to change the image. What I did basically, I'll select exactly the same image that I used in the desktop, but I was going to the photo studio and change and rotate it something like this. Okay, and then I click save, and now I have another image with different ratio. So let's select this one and reset the image properties again. And now I'll make it wider, like to fill the entire screen, and maybe even more. Something like this. And again, same as we did in desktop, I want to shift its position to be same to the center, to be in the center of this light. So I select it and try to play around with the units. Minus 50%. I need more. Minus 60. Maybe even more. Minus 65. Okay, something like this. This looks good. So now we need to set a different animation. So first of all, I want to remove the track from the light body wrapper. So let's go to animation, and I'll just remove it. The second thing that I want to do, I want to instead of track, I want to create a loop animation and to use cross, but not horizontally. I want to do it vertically. So from below, let's see an example. This is exactly what we need. And let's set the duration to be 8 seconds, and the repeat delay will be immediately, so it will be slower. And the second thing that I want to do, I want to match this design, this loop animation to the image wrapper. So let's remove the mouse effect. By the way, it's removing this mouse effect only from mobile. If I'll go to desktop, you can see that I still have it. So let's go to the loop, add cross, where it was, cross. From below, it will be 8%, and it looks something like this. So let's publish it and see how it looks. So let's go to mobile. And I think we can make it a bit more precise. So it looks something like this. Because the light is, oh, this is bad. Okay, so I think I know what the reason is. So we need to make sure that both of this container are same height. So this is stretched, and the light body wrapper is also stretched. Yes. Let's see if it has. No, it's not. I checked if it has like a minimum height or something. So the loop animation is on this body. So let's try to unstretch it and set it to be 100 VH. Great. Same, I'll do exactly the same for the image itself. Unstretch it and set its height to be 100 VH and remove the minimum height. So now let's see if this is fixed the issue. First time is okay. Second time is also okay. So I guess it's fixed the issue. Now the last thing that I want to do, I want to move this typography a bit up. So let's do something like 30. Now I don't care so much that this is closed because this is automatically sliding down. Okay, but let's do a bit more, 35%. I think now it should be it looks much nicer. And also I can add more padding from the bottom. And now it should be, looks way better. So this is our final design. As you can see, I think this is super cool, super sleek. So we have this desktop, and we have this mobile. They are just for mobile. We need to refresh to see the difference. I think it's super nice. So that's it. I hope this will help you somewhere in your project. And until next time, keep building amazing sites on Wix Studio.